Iran on Sunday confirmed the death of Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei in the wake of an attack by the US and Israel in the early hours of Saturday morning. Tehran announced that it is set to begin a mourning of 40 days in the wake of Khamenei's death. US President Donald Trump had announced the killing of Khamenei hours earlier and in a post on social media promised to continue carrying out attacks until the objective of peace throughout the Middle East and indeed the world is achieved. Khamenei, the 86-year-old leader of Iran, shaped Tehran's era of defiance against the West, taking over power in 1989 following the death of Ruhollah Khomeini, the ideological founder of the Islamic Republic of Iran. Khomeini had led the Iranian revolution against the authoritarian rule of the Shah of Iran, Mohammad Reza Pahlavi. Khamenei, who was Khomeini's successor, led Iran for 7 years as its president during the grueling war with Iraq before assuming the role of supreme leader following Khomeini's death in 1989. Large crowds have gathered in the streets of Iran to mourn Khamenei's death, according to reports, while there have also been celebrations on the streets of Iran after President Trump's announcement of Khamenei's death. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on Saturday had highlighted that regime change was the goal of the latest attacks by the US and Tel Aviv on Tehran. Born in 1939 in the city of Mashhad, Khamenei led Iran through its war with Saddam Hussein's Iraq between 1981 and 1989. At the time, Hussein's Iraq had received wide backing from the West and the US, leaving the nascent Islamic revolution in Iran vulnerable. This is said to have defined Khamenei's worldview to an extent and fostered a deep distrust within the supreme leader of Iran of the US. Khamenei's father was a well known Muslim leader and an ethnic Azerbaijani from Iraq. Khamenei's father eventually settled in the Shia holy city of Mashhad. The former supreme leader of Iran never finished high school, instead, focusing on attendance of theological schools before attending the seminaries in Najaf and Qom. Eventually, the monarchy, which assumed power in Iran following a Western backed coup in 1953, exiled Khamenei to the remote city of Iran Shahr in southeastern Iran. By 1975, Sevak, the secret police of the Shah of Iran, had arrested or detained Khamenei at least 6 times, according to information made public by the Iranian government. Eventually, in 1979, Ali Khamenei participated in the 1979 Iranian Revolution and eventually rose to become the country's president 2 years later. After Khomenei's death in 1989, Khamenei was appointed as the supreme leader on the very same day of a country that had just lost 1 million people in an almost decade long war with Iraq. Under Khamenei, over the last 3 decades, Iran developed its stockpiles of missiles, ballistic missiles, and capabilities to strike across West Asia while creating the so called axis of resistance through the support of armed groups across the region, including the Hezbollah in Lebanon, the Houthis in Yemen, and Hamas in the Gaza Strip. The current Iranian administration, which faced a brutal war with Iraq early in its foundation, slowly developed into a regional power capable of projecting its force across multiple countries in the region. Iran's retaliation on Saturday, for example, focused across the region, with the United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, Jordan, Kuwait, and Qatar all reporting attacks emanating from the Islamic Republic of Iran. These countries all house American bases. The Straits of Hormuz has been effectively closed, according to Iranian state media. The closure of the straits, that channels the flow of almost a fifth of global oil supply, is expected to impact international markets. It is unclear yet whether it was an American or an Israeli strike that killed Khamenei. Trump's announcement of the death of the 86-year-old former leader of Iran also led to celebrations all across the streets. Khamenei faced the biggest threat to his tenure as leader of Iran at the start of this year. Protests that began over the economic crisis facing the West Asian nation eventually spiraled into calling for his removal in some corners of the country. The Iranian government violently repressed the protests, with over 1,000 people said to have been killed by the authorities. However, it remains to be seen who is set to take over the reins in Iran. A provisional leadership council has been put in place, headed by the president of Iran, Masoud Pezeshkian, along with the head of the judiciary and head of the Guardians Council. The Provisional Leadership Council will remain in power until the decision over who becomes the next supreme leader of Iran is taken. It is expected, however, that senior leadership in the country had prepared for the situation for years, given Khamenei's own advanced age and the 12-day war in June 2025. Reza Pahlavi, the son of the deposed Shah, has been pushing for his own return to lead the country. That is all for me today. For more such news and analysis, subscribe below.